Welcome back to nap time. This is my episode. This is a shirt from Joe's Crab Shack. Just right now, in case for some reason I only move and you can't see this part right here, and it just says I've got crabs. It's from Joe's Crab Shack. It's a comical t-shirt. I'm so excited to be back. Obviously, you've seen that for the last couple of weeks. It was just a guest episode split into two. Shout out Steve Barnes, who is he's so funny and such a genuine person, and I really, truly enjoy speaking to him. It was really fun. I love having someone where we have some similar interests, but also so many dissimilar things that we've encountered and consumed media-wise. So we had so much to talk about. We'll have so much more to talk about. Eventually, I will be on an episode of his podcast, and I'll let you guys know about that whenever that happens, so that you can go watch us be, funny and dorking out together over on his channel, Sweet Child of Time. I also didn't record anything last week because I wasn't here. I was in Steamboat Springs, my hometown up in Colorado, for my birthday. Yes, it was my birthday on March 1st. It's mine and my dad's birthday. We share it. It's pretty cool. And I was turning 26, which was very exciting. Yay! So I was up there with my boyfriend, celebrating with my family, because what more fun way could there be to celebrate a birthday besides getting to live in an aquarium for an entire week, which when I asked, I was told I'm not allowed to do. Whatever, I'm not mad about it anymore. I've also since missed International Women's Day. It's gone! Shout out to all the women everywhere, all the time. I love you, all of you. As my girl Serena on Love Island said, I support women's rights and wrongs. They're beautiful, amazing, all of you, so talented, so strong, so wonderful. 10 out of 10. I also love that my birthday is the start of Women's History Month. Thank you. I did that on purpose. I also share a birthday with Jensen Ackles. That's very important to me. I share a birthday with Jensen Ackles. Just so everybody is aware. I'm sure I share it with a lot of people. I feel like I know a lot of people that have that birthday. Not personally, but just in the world. I hear about people having that birthday a lot. That's 9 months before. Anyways, so we have a lot to go over today. I want to give you just kind of like a brief little about my trip to Steamboat with the man. And then I thought we would do something real fun today, which is go over a bunch of weird laws in the world. Few different countries, and then I have a whole list of weird laws in every single state of America. Of course we have weird laws, right? So let's get started. We went to Steamboat. It was full of firsts for Carter because he's never flown, never been to Steamboat, never seen the mountains. Well, he's never been to Colorado as a whole, not just Steamboat. And there were just so many things that I got to do with him, foods I got to show him, experiences that I got to do with him. It was super fun. I have a lot of photos. Some might even get posted here. Maybe a couple at the end too. Who knows? We'll see how feisty I'm feeling when I'm editing. We'll see, darlings. It was super fun. I got to see Steamboat through a tourist's eyes, which I've never gotten to do before, because the first time I had ever heard of it and been there, while I technically was a tourist because I'd never been there before, I was living there. I was a local already. Not in the eyes of some of the locals there, but I was. It was really fun. I got to show him the Steamboat Springs Library, which is one of the most beautiful libraries ever. It is so gorgeous. It's so gorgeous, and it looks over the river. There's a couple different rivers that run through Steamboat, and so it looks over one of them, and I was just showing him around, and he said the word awesome so many different times during that trip, just different things that I was showing him. It was awesome. He's right. It was a little warm for this time of year, but it still nonetheless was, you know, winter and everything. He got to see it snow a couple times, feel fresh snow, and that was just so amazing to share with him. One of my really good friends who I've talked about on here before, Andy, he's so cute. I love him so much. He got us a couple of passes to ride up the gondola. So on our last day there, before we went to the airport, I got to take him up a gondola, which he's obviously never been on before, and to the top of the mountain, and it's snowing, which it hadn't really, like, it had like dusted a couple of times, but it was snowing, so the visibility was a little low, and he was just so happy. It was amazing. It was beautiful, fun to show that to him and everything, the whole experience. Gondolas can be a little scary if you've never been on one before, especially if you think, this might be like a roller coaster. It's not, I promise you. It stays stable up. When you come down, it looks like it's gonna like drop you like that, and you don't feel that. You literally just come down like this. I promise, if you're scared to go on a gondola because you're scared of heights, you don't like roller coasters, anything like that, you will be fine. Coming from someone that is terrified of roller coasters and heights, I did get a little spooked out coming back down because I forgot, and it just, usually you can't go back down the gondola because you're supposed to ski down the mountain or whatever. They changed that since I was little, thankfully. We had so much fun. My family, I've mentioned this pretty much every episode, big board gamers. We're all real big into board games. So the amount of board games that I played the last week, ridiculous. Because this man wanted back to back to back. He would be putting away a board game, and while putting it away, he'd be like, so Monopoly next? We're doing Monopoly? And we were all like, kind of a good fit. Okay. There were a lot. I'm only going to highlight 2 because there were just so many. There's absolutely too many for me to be able to highlight all of them. One is a board game that I've been looking for forever because I saw it on TikTok and I thought that it would be so fun, and I was correct. It's called Hues and Cues, and it's like a newer game. It's a giant board, a giant colored board, like easily like this big, right? Maybe longer. And it's full of a gradient of colors, and someone is it switches every round, and someone is the like cue giver is what it's called, and they pick up a card, and on the card are 4 colors, and they get to pick one of those 4 colors, and it's on the board, and they have to describe the color in one word without saying the color. So, you know, if I were to say like pink, or if I were to say mittens, my family would either think pink or white, because she's just got the pinkest little nose in the whole land, but she's also so damn white. And then everyone puts like a little cone down to say like what their guess is, and no 2 people can be in the same little square space. And then you can give a second guess that's also one word, but you can do a 2-word guess this time and see where people land then. And then you get like a little square. It's like this big, and you put it where the answer is the center of the square, and then you get points based off like how close everyone was, and they get points based on how close they were. It's really fun. You also can't repeat any clues that have been given previously in the game, not just by you, but by anyone, which makes it really difficult coming towards the end. If you have a bigger group, you can do like, after everyone's read a clue twice or done a clue twice, then you end and see who has the most points. Both times that we've played it, we just did the first person gets a 50 points won, and my mother won because she knows very well 2 of the like 4 people that were there, and she was one of the 4. So that was really fun to be able to play. Next, I want to find that wavelength game, which is kind of a similar concept, but with more ideas than colors. So that looks really fun too. I had an amazing birthday. Andy came to dinner with us, which is always so fun. I love him so much. We got to have a great dinner, great drinks. Man, those fancy people, they know how to make a good cocktail. And since I know a lot of the bartenders, they know how to make a good, strong cocktail. And I didn't have to drive for most of my time there, which was fantastic. My mom manages an ice cream shop up there, so we got a lot of free ice cream, of which you You would have thought that Carter thought he was never having ice cream again, the amount that he consumed. My poor lactose intolerant boy. It was very fun. Let's see. There's a really cute bookstore up there. It's called Off the Beaten Path. So I showed him that, and he fell in love with it, just as I always have loved it. It has new owners, but they really respected the space and the layout and everything of it when they took over, which is amazing. Went to all the tourist shops, all the places that I used to work, all of my favorite restaurants. It was great. It was great to see it. I didn't get to see a lot of friends while I was there because, again, it was mine and my dad's birthday, so we were very focused on birthday stuff, and I spent pretty much the rest of the time just showing Carter everything in Steamboat that I loved, which did take up most of the week. There was one specific night where everyone was asleep and we wanted to play a game, but there weren't a lot of two-player games for us to play, and we found a really, really, really old Trivial Pursuit in my parents' basement. And some of the questions, and definitely the answers, were so fucking out there and weird, or just like out of nowhere, or didn't age well. Not in like the fact that they're racist or anything, but in the fact that you genuinely had to be playing this game when the game came out to understand the questions, that we were just cracking up laughing while we were reading them. Mom, if you're watching this, I'll send them back. I took some of our favorite cards so I could share some of the questions and answers with you because they were just so ridiculous. We did know a lot of the answers because, you know, I think these are for young players a lot. Like it was, I think, like a Trivial Pursuit for children, maybe, unsure. It came out, I think, in the early 80s, this one. My mom had it basically duct taped just to stay together because it is falling apart. Look at it. It's so cute. I love this retro blue. So we're going to go through it. This might cut a lot because I'm going to have to find each question. I didn't want to like mark up these cards. I have to find each question. So this will cut a lot as I find the question and then read to you the answers. Okay. What piece of equipment links a rock climber to his or her partners? You have 3 seconds to answer. Did you say a carabiner? Because that's what we said. It's a rope. Just a fucking rope. Just tie that bitch around you. Tie that bitch around them. No carabiners, no harnesses, no nothing. Rope. 10 out of 10. What fish, famed for its teeth, has no bones in its skeleton? It's a shark. It's a really scary way to phrase that question, I do believe, but it's just a shark. Not that scary when you think about it. Do the eyes of the ghosts in Pac-Man move? Yes, they do. That was really fun because I actually grew up playing Pac-Man. My mom loves Pac-Man. She has a Miss Pac-Man machine. That might be the most that someone said Pac-Man in such a short period of time. But she has a Miss Pac-Man machine, and so we love to play it together all the time. They do move, the ghosts. Depending on what direction they're going in. Their eyes, they move. Which famed scientist shaved regularly? Charles Darwin, Galileo, or Isaac Newton? It's Isaac Newton. If you picture the other two, you picture them with beards, right? How many inches tall was the original movie King Kong in real life? 8, which, by the way, the word 8 is spelled out. It's not the number. 18, which is the number, or 28, which is also the number. 18. I don't fully understand what that question is asking. How many inches tall was the original movie King Kong in real life? Are they asking like the model of the gorilla King Kong that they used? Are they asking how tall the disc was maybe? I don't know. Poorly phrased question. I'm sure it's just the model. How much does it cost to go on a polar expedition in the game of life? It's 50 grand. Do belted kingfishers live in nests, trees, or holes in the riverbanks? It's holes in the riverbanks. Not all of these are ridiculous questions, by the way. Some of these are just, I think they'd be fun for you to answer. Who was the chief bad guy in Raiders of the Lost Ark? I said Nazis. The answer is Belloc. What ship does Little Pig Robinson sail from Stymouth on? I don't even know what that's from, but the answer is the Pound of Candles. Guess that's the name of a ship. Why you would name a ship that? No fucking clue. Love it though. Oh, this one was great. What TV bird has outwitted Wile E. Coyote every time so far? It's important to note that the so far is italicized and actually a part of it. Please focus in on this, please. Italicized and a part of the question, which leads me to believe that Wile E. Coyote himself has written this specific question. It's Roadrunner, obviously. This one was just interesting. What popular singer wrote the You Deserve a Break Today song for McDonald's? Barry Manilow. What's cheese made out of? I just want to make sure the answer wasn't something stupid. Milk! What item, 2.5 inches in diameter, do players need for a tennis game? This is a tricky one. Think about it. It's a ball. They don't even specify tennis ball. It just says, you can't see that. It just says ball. What, according to the saying, makes waste? Haste, paste, or taste? It is haste. Good job, good job, good job, good job. Are houseflies deaf? I don't know. Are they? Did you ask them? Could they not answer? They are deaf. I think that's actually really interesting because I know that there's been a lot of studies done with flies where they, like, you know, are pringling the dingles on a guitar or something, and the flies move in a certain direction based on that. So I guess that might be like a fruit fly or something if houseflies are deaf, or maybe they're wrong. Who knows? This one I thought was interesting because this question is so old, but I do believe it is still 100% accurate. What's the only fully animated feature film to star Mickey Mouse? It's Fantasia. And I think that's still true to this day. Interesting. Oh, who becomes, okay, maybe this was only interesting to me because I don't remember watching The Wizard of Oz, and never seen Wicked or anything to do with it, didn't read it or anything like that. Who becomes emperor in the book The Land of Oz? Is it the Lion, Scarecrow, or Tin Woodman? So my question to you is, who the fuck is Tin Woodman? Is that Tin Man? Does Tin Man have his whole legal name out here? Is it Tin Woodman? And he becomes the emperor? I thought that was the wizard. It is Tin Woodman, by the way. The only reason that I like this question is because of the way it's phrased. This sentence alone is hilarious. The question itself is kind of boring, and, you know, the answer is too. But the sentence is, how many parallel bars do gymnasts do their thing on? There was not a more academic way that they could say, you know, jump around or some shit on. They say, how many bars do gymnasts do their thing on? It's 2 for those that are trying to play along at home. Who gets the extra loaf in a baker's dozen? This was actually interesting. It led us down kind of a research rabbit hole, which is always very fun to do. So, who gets the extra loaf in a baker's dozen? The devil. It's the devil. Want to know why baker's dozens even exist? It's because it used to be, they were, I don't know, the authorities were worried that people were, like, overpaying for the amount that they were giving, and so it became illegal to charge someone for a dozen and not give them an actual dozen, because that was apparently happening quite frequently. And so bakers, to be safe, started giving people an extra just to make sure that they were giving at least a dozen. Became a baker's dozen. Oh, why does the devil get it? So basically it was like to avoid the devil of legal repercussions. The devil gets the extra. Devil gets the pound a dozen. I don't fucking know. But yeah, the devil got the extra and the baker's dozen. Fun fact, he's eating bread down there. That's why people are gluten-free nowadays. Oh, it all makes sense. What state has been the birthplace of 7 presidents? I just thought this was a cool fact. It's Ohio. Forget they exist all the time. Sorry, Ohio. What is the largest satellite orbiting the Earth? Now, this question I actually really liked because I apparently didn't know the actual definition of a satellite before this, wasn't taught it, so running under the assumption that mayhaps the people watching this have also not been taught it, I'd like to give you a fun little piece of trivia for the day, aside from everything else that I've said so far. It's the moon. What I like about this also is that the moon on the answer sheet isn't capitalized like it should be. The moon, M in moon, is lowercase. So satellite is just anything orbiting a planet. So the moon is the largest satellite. We thought it was some conspiracy theory for a second before we looked up the actual definition of satellite and realized that we had a very wrong understanding of what the definition of satellite actually was. What species of pigeon became extinct in 1914 with the death of Martha in the Cincinnati Zoo? The passenger pigeon. R.I.P. pigeons. I would love to have a pet pigeon. What's the consolation prize for a rejected application to the Legion of Superheroes? It's an anti-gravity belt. I don't know what this is quoting. I think it's something from DC. But that is so funny to me. Like, you get rejected as being a superhero and they give you an anti-gravity belt? That's dope as hell. Thank you very much. Who's the elephant child's hairy uncle? I'll raise you one. Who's the elephant child? It's the baboon. Did you guess that? Do you know what that's from? I don't. Please share. If you know what the elephant child's hairy uncle, the baboon, and all of that shit is from, let me know. Sounds like a children's story. Would love to read it. That is our trivia time. Thanks for joining me. So, if you are in Steamboat, because I got the Hues and Cues game at my friend's board game shop. So if you're in Steamboat and you want something to do that's not being outside or drinking, there's an arcade. It's called Steamboat Fun and Games, and it lives up to the name. They've got sometimes, I think, ice cream. They've got little snacks there. They've got so many games and kids' toys. They have so much Lego and a little arcade there that's super fun, like skee ball. They have pinball, not foosball. They have the little basketball game. They have that Mario Kart game. I don't know if you guys have ever played this, but there's a Mario Kart game where if you and the person playing the game next to you go in at the same time, you get to race each other. And in a little Mario Kart, it's got like a wheel and gas and brake. It's very fun. Anyways, my buddy owns it. It's called Steamboat Fun and Games. Absolutely recommend going to that. I believe spoken about a lot of different places that are in Steamboat that you guys should go see. Add that one to the list too. I now want to get into a new segment that might be repeated because there are so many to get through. Weird laws around the world. We're going to start out with around the world, and then we're going to focus a little bit more in America with just some general ones that I think are fun. And then we're going to give one per state. For every state. Okay. It is illegal to wear camo in several Caribbean countries. It's illegal to wear it in Africa, to wear camo in Africa if you're not in the military. And it's outlawed completely in Saudi Arabia, the Philippines, and Oman. Very interesting. Kind of wish that would apply to America. If you're on a bike in Mexico, you have to keep both feet on the pedals. That's just a good safety one. There were a few that I was reading and I was like, these are just like common sense. Like, you can't wear high heels in a historical like ruin in Greece, obviously. Or you can't drop something out of a window if it's more than 8 feet to the ground in Nolans, obviously. Again, so those aren't like weird to me, I don't think. Spain, you would be fined for driving with flip flops. That also makes sense because the flip of the flop can get caught in the pedal. I also just want to remind everyone that rules and laws are, when they're this specific, typically put into place because something happened. There's a story, if not more than just a story, around what is going on here. So I'd like to hear those stories. In Barcelona, specifically, you cannot wear swimwear any place other than the beach. Seems like a pretty reasonable rule, though personally I do wear my swimsuit in public where I am because I'm in a beach town. So if I'm running to do something before I go to the beach, I just wear my swimsuit. I'll wear like pants or something, but bikini top, shorts, head out. In France, there are about 3 towns where it's illegal to die, which was a protest ordinance that they put into place because they were denied creating more cemeteries there. So they did a little hee hee ha ha and made it illegal to die. Hilarious, by the way. In Switzerland, you cannot flush a toilet in an apartment building after 10 p.m. I think that just sounds polite with how loud they can be. I think that must make sense. In Euryclea, which is near Venice, it's illegal to build sandcastles. I couldn't find the story on that or the reasoning, and I'm dying to know why you cannot build a sandcastle in Euryclea. Euryclea? I apologize if I'm mispronouncing this. Now we're going to get into some more USA specific ones, because a lot of the ones that I saw for other countries, I couldn't find anything that backed up that was real, or if it was just someone saying shit to be funny. So I don't want to say them and then they weren't correct. So USA specific. I'm going to start with a couple in Florida because it's such an unhinged place that the fact that they have any laws there are shocking and hilarious. One, you can't sing while wearing a bathing suit in Florida. Again, story. Needed a story time. 2, you can't skateboard without a skateboarding license in Florida. This is an older rule, and from what I can tell, it's probably not enforced anymore. But God, I want a skateboarding license, specifically. And to this day, missionary is the only legal sex position in Florida because they did not update it, which is funny. In Hawaii, you cannot wear just swim trunks around the island, and you have to wear your seatbelt if you're in the back of a vehicle, but you can ride in like the bed of a pickup truck with no safety gear. None. You can just raw dog it back there. Hilarious. Also, I always loved riding in the bed of a pickup truck, or like when it was Halloween time and you'd go to one of those pumpkin patches and they had, those like the trucks with like the big wooden beds full of hay bales, and you could like ride in that and ride around the pumpkin patch or the town or whatever. Loved that. My favorite. I only got to do it a handful of times, but I loved it, and I have yet to find a hay bale ride like that since. In Arizona, you can go to prison for like up to 25 years if you cut a cactus. This is a specific note to my sister, the one that lives in Arizona. Don't be cutting cactuses, girlfriend. And it's also illegal to trip a horse for entertainment or sport purposes. I how often was that happening that you had to make it a law? Were people just putting their little footsies out in front of horses and tripping them? Were they doing that Princess Diaries thing with like a rubber snake and it was tripping them somehow? Or did they get like the full Looney Tunes rope across the street tripping horses? Either way, it happened enough that you guys had to make a law about it, and I want to know why. Did anyone here that's versed in Arizona or from Arizona learn about this? Actually, fun fact about me, when I was in elementary school, let's see, 4th grade, I believe. Yeah, 4th grade to be specific. We did that flat Stanley thing. I don't know if you guys know about that or did it in your schools. But it was a pen pal thing with kids in another state. And we all had someone else in another state that we were pen pals with. And we had a flat Stanley. We each had a flat Stanley. And we got to decorate our flat Stanley and write a letter to the other people. And then we'd put the flat Stanley in the little thing and we'd send it out. And we, I think there was like a once a month thing for the entirety of my 4th grade, which was so fun. I hope that they still do stuff like that in schools because I just absolutely loved it. I think I actually still have it somewhere in my immense storage or my mom's immense storage of all of my things. It was very fun to do. Loved it. In North Carolina, it is illegal for bingo sessions to exceed 5 hours. In South Carolina, it's illegal to sell instruments, musical instruments, on Sundays. Interesting. In Virginia, oh man, Virginia has so many. I wrote down a host of ones because I couldn't pick a favorite. Virginia, illegal to use an x-ray for a shoe fitting. Illegal in some towns to trick or treat if you're above the age of 12 or if it's after 8 p.m. I don't agree with the over age of 12 thing because, let kids have fun, let adults have fun. It doesn't really hurt you. But after 8 p.m., I could see the efficacy of that. It's illegal to visit a cemetery at night, which is the most fun time to visit a cemetery. It's illegal to curse on Atlantic Avenue or Boardwalk. And you can't drive past the same location on Atlantic Avenue more than once in a 30-minute period. So if you're lost and you gotta do a circle back, sucks, bro. Sucks to suck. Now, in Alabama, it is illegal to wear a fake mustache that causes laughter in church. Can't do that shit. Alaska has so many good ones. I'm going to go with kangaroos are not allowed in barbershops at any time. That sucks if they're just trying to get like a fresh fade or something. Arizona, donkeys cannot sleep in bathtubs. Arkansas, a law provides that school teachers who bob their hair will not get a raise. No Karens get raises today. California also has a lot, so it'd be hard to pick just one. But in the Baldwin Park area, it is illegal. Nobody is allowed to ride a bicycle in a swimming pool. Connecticut, a pickle is not legally considered a pickle unless it bounces. Delaware, it's illegal to get married on a dare in Delaware. In DC, it's illegal to post a notice in public which calls another person a coward for refusing to accept a challenge to duel. Which, those are my weekend plans when I go to DC. So, I think you're really inhibiting your people there. You know what? One of my future episodes, it's just going to be going into the story behind these, if I can find them, because this is ridiculous. Idaho, in Boise, again, another specific one, residents may not fish from a giraffe's back. Illinois, according to state law, it's illegal to speak English because the officially recognized language there is American. I think it really makes sense. Indiana, spiteful gossip and talking behind a person's back are illegal. Everyone I know would be in prison. Lock me up, officer. Iowa, if you are a man with a mustache, you may never kiss a woman in public. Kansas, it's illegal to catch a bullfrog in a tomato patch. Illegal. You also cannot hunt whales there. And you can't put ice cream on cherry pie. I know I shared 3, but they're all so fucking cute and stupid. I love that. Kentucky. Every citizen of Kentucky is required to take a shower once a year. That's right. In Maine, if you still have your Christmas decorations up after January 14th, you'll be fined. As someone that doesn't celebrate Christmas, I think that's fucking stupid, because you should be allowed to have joy and whimsy whenever the fuck you want. But if they're those like really obnoxiously bright ones or the ones that make noise, then I get it. In Maryland, you cannot curse within city limits. In Massachusetts, no gorilla is allowed in the backseat of any car. This is not car-specific hate. Gorillas aren't allowed in the back of any car. They gotta be in the front. A Michigan law states that a person may not cross state lines with a duck atop his head. Now, Missouri. We got a footloose town in Missouri. It's Purdy, Missouri. Dancing is strictly prohibited. Call Kevin Bacon. Nebraska. Man is not allowed to run around with a shaved chest. I'm strongly against that. Nevada. In Las Vegas, Nevada, you cannot, hear me, listen to me, you cannot pawn your dentures. What the fuck? What do you guys do? You need money for gambling that bad that you were going around pawning your dentures to get a little bit extra scrap to go gamble? You also can't drive a camel on the highway in Nevada. I think that's too restrictive. In New York, it's illegal to sell ice cream after 6 p.m. unless the customer has a note from his doctor. New Mexico. A city council member in Albuquerque, New Mexico, introduced a resolution a few years ago to ban Santa Claus from the city. The matter was defeated. New York. Donkeys are not allowed to sleep in bathtubs in Brooklyn. In North Dakota, it's illegal to keep an elk in a sandbox in your backyard. Ohio. It's against the law to kill a housefly within 160 feet of a church without a license. In Rhode Island, it is considered an offense to throw a pickle juice on a trolley. In South Dakota, it is illegal to lie down and fall asleep in a cheese factory. In Tennessee, you cannot drive while you're asleep. I don't think that even has to be a legal thing. But it's also illegal to catch a fish with a lasso. I would like to see the fucker that made this law come into place, okay? Or were you just trying real fucking hard? Was it maybe a sheriff that was trying real hard and he was unable to, and he got so fucking butthurt about it that he made a law that you can't, so that no one else could do it and prove him wrong that he couldn't? I hope that's the story. In Texas, a city ordinance states that a person cannot go barefoot without first obtaining a special $5 permit. In Utah, birds have the right of way on all highways. In Washington, all lollipops are banned. All of them. You lick lollipop, straight to jail. And finally, in Wyoming, Cheyenne citizens may not take showers on Wednesdays. You also cannot take a photo of a rabbit during the month of June. So hope you don't see any cute fucking cottontails out there, okay? Peter has got shit to do in the month of June. Don't be taking pictures of him now. Don't be no snapsies, okay? If there is a specific place that you want me to talk about ridiculous laws for, let me know. Or maybe if you know a ridiculous law for a place, also let me know. I sent out those letters, as I said that I was going to, for my birthday, to companies to see kind of what PR or gifts I would get back. I sent them out before we left, came back, and most of them had gotten returned to me. They actually didn't even leave. They said the postage was due because I put wax seals on my letters when I send them out. Has never been a problem before. In fact, when I worked at the post office, I know for a fact that this is about... yeah, that's about the distance that you're allowed on a card before it's charged more, and it's the distance that fit for the letters with the wax seals. And also wax seals are a little amenable if you like push on them. So I had to go through and physically take off the wax seal from a bunch of different letters. Not all of them got returned to me though, which is interesting. Very interesting. So, you know, in that vein, I haven't gotten anything back yet because one, it had only been a week since I'd sent it out, and two, not all of them, not even most of them had gotten sent out. But I want to thank, as always, everyone that watched or listened to this episode. So love that you're here. Love that if it's your first time that you decided to check me out. I hope you had a good time. Hope to see you again. And if it is a repeat time for you, welcome back. I adore you. And I'm glad that you're here. And for our visual watchers here, I got a couple Lego sets from different people for my birthday. Here's the one that my boy Andy got me. It is a wildflower bouquet. It didn't come with a vase, so I'm gonna have to find a vase for it. But look at how pretty they are. I love when flowers are like this, like a deep blue with purple. Oh my goodness, I love it. I love these. I love these. I love these. They're also gorgeous. My mom also got me one. It's a plum blossom set. I just haven't done it yet because I just got back into town. So me, the flowers, and the kitty cat are signing out. Thanks for joining me for nap time. Have a great day. Bye.